Hello everyone, Dovalt here with another episode and another review, and once again we are back with Metal Cardbot. This time we're taking a step back and going back to Season 2 with the amazing figure Flash Vector, or as I like to call him, Legally Distinct Mirage, because it is very clear where the inspiration behind this figure came from, because even in the series he has the same powers as some of the earlier versions of Mirage, at least the F1 version of Mirage. But before we get into this review, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon to know all this stuff, and check out my other content here on the channel and on my main gaming channel as well. I stream there on both YouTube and Kick if you want to check out the gaming side of things. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to take a quick look at the packaging, but I do want to preface, just like my other Metal Cardbot figures, I received this from Korea Hub USA, an amazing online seller. You can find them over on eBay. He's one of the only few US sellers if you live here in the States, and he gives you pretty good prices, and the shipping is usually pretty quick, usually within a week, so it's pretty nice. But anyway, let's take a quick look at the packaging for Flash Vector. So, as usual, we have your obligatory product shots here on the front. Sorry, let me adjust my camera height. There we go. So you got the 3D render of him from the show, looking very, very much like Mirage. There you have him in his amazing vehicle mode with the main character over here. I love the white, red, and blue going on here. Very America. And you can see him here with his metal card and another 3D render of the figure. More obligatory product shots of the figure in both modes, and of course a big action shot of him here with his metal card upgrades. Alright, and for the figure himself, here you go, you have Flash Vector in his vehicle mode, and yes, it is very obvious this was inspired by the G1 and G2 version of Mirage from Transformers. Very clear inspiration. In fact, in the series, he has the same powers, you know, like force fields, short-range teleportation, super speed, paralysis daggers, and holograms, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, if we look at the front of the vehicle here, you have this amazing molded front diffuser here. All the colors you see, except for the red, are molded. It is separate plastic. Then you have a nice red stripe that kind of splits towards the side. You got this nice clean back here with some really cool spoilers. These become his weapons in later modes. The wheels roll very well. In fact, later on in one of his modes, he rolls a little too well. And on the underside, he cleans up very nicely. You can kind of see that most of the robot is up here, as you can kind of see. But yeah, not too much to talk about as far as his robot mode. I mean, his vehicle mode. And also here you have his metal card. We'll be taking a look at this once we get to that robot mode, but it's got the faction symbol here on the back, and a nice blue and silver, and of course you have the picture of the figure here on the front with Flash Vector in nice PowerPoint text. I've heard a lot of people compare that text on these to like PowerPoint, and I think it's kind of funny. But anywho, so, for size comparisons real quick, I actually remembered to do vehicle mode size comparisons this time. Here we have him next to a deluxe class blastoff. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Then we have him next to our Voyager class brawl. So he is a little large and in charge. Here he is next to Savinard, my previous review, and yes, he can store on here if you want. And there he is next to Taki as well. So he's a pretty nicely sized figure. Now, without further ado, let's get into the transformation for this guy. And it is so simple, I probably don't even need to talk you through it, but I'm going to anyway. So, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take these spoiler sections here, and you're just going to pop them off and straighten them out. These will become his daggers. Same thing for the other side, just pop them off, and they tab in on these two little ports here on the little holes there on the handle. Then, for an incredibly satisfying transformation, so what you're going to do you're going to come to the underside here. There's this little C-clip port right here. You're going to flip this out like so. You can just get a nail in there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to lift up the cab, and that's going to free up this whole thing. It's tabbed in on two 4mm ports right here on the underside of this piece. And all you're going to do is you're going to accordion that forward, pop up the wheels. They are pegged in via these nice little C-clamps here. And then you're going to get this nice satisfying click. You might not be able to hear it, but there you go. And you're just going to swing this down and peg that into the back, and now you have this nice ball of car. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take these two spoiler sections back here and pop them up, and they're tabbed in right there where you can see. And that's going to free up the legs, which will then split here in the middle, tabbing at the back of what will be the feet, and just bring that down. Super easy. Get these legs into a nice position. Then what you're going to do is on both sides, you're going to flip out the wheel, and then you're going to flip out the toe, and the foot's going to swing forward on a nice big ball joint. Same thing on the other side. Then all you're going to do is come up here to the top, and you're going to flip out the arms, flip them down, extend them out a little bit, and flip out the chest, and boom, there you have Flash Vector in his robot mode. And yes, he definitely looks like Mirage. If only he had just a hint of green on the striping and he looked just like him. Now, you can bring in the weapons here, and they're just going to slide into the 5mm ports on his hand. Super simple. And, boom, here we have Flash Vector in his robot mode. And he is a cool little guy. Super fun to flip back and forth. Super simple transformation, and he just looks cool. Now, I do have some gripes regarding some articulation, but they're minor. Just have to do with the types of ratchets they used, but other than that, this figure looks great. So let's take a quick look at the details up close. You have this nice chest piece here with a racing flag on one side and a subtle F1 logo on this side. You have a really cool head crest with the white and the red striping continue with a nice blue visor, white mouth guard. You have the nice cool intakes here on the shoulders. Really nice detailing there. You have more intakes here on the knees. Of course, you got the big old wheels here on the side of the legs, and there's even some venting here on the back of the legs as well. Now, the figure does have a backpack, but in the show, it's actually like a jetpack. So the wheels here are thrusters. He's got the despoiler that carries over, and he's even got some thruster details down here on the bottom. So he's definitely meant for speed. But yeah, overall, amazing figure. Just nice little hints of red and white all over the place. Nice venting detail. But yeah, super simple, super cool, awesome. Probably my favorite as far as handling is concerned. He's the most fun I've had transforming back and forth, especially because unlike Tachi, the weapons just form like an ancillary part of the vehicle rather than actually being the front of the vehicle, so no real parts forming to speak of here. But anyway, let's get into articulation. So, this is where my issues lie. So, first, of course, you have your head that is on a nice ball joint, can do a full 360, tilt left, right. Can't go down too much, can't go up too much, but it is what it is. But now on the shoulders. So you have a 360 rotation here on the shoulder. But my problem, my only issue with this figure is that these are 45-degree ratchets. So you are not going to be getting any like crazy dynamic poses. Well, correction, you're not going to get any simple dynamic poses. He's always going to look like he's ready to go because these joints are like that. Same thing for the shoulders. You can go down, you can go out that far, and you kind of stop right there. Same thing with the wrist. 45-degree ratcheted wrist. So a lot of 45-degree joints, which is a little bit of a bummer. Now, he does have a really nice butterfly. These can go in, so you can give him some flexing poses if you wanted to. His legs are a little bit better. No waist joint, by the way, but his legs are much better. You get a full 360 rotation at the thigh with many a clicks. I think those are nice little 15-degree ratchets. He can go forward that far. He can go backwards that far. If you move the backpack, he might be able to get a little bit more. He has a double-jointed knee at the top joint and a bottom joint, so you can get well past 90 there. And his best bit of articulation is his feet, because they are on a big, sturdy ball joint here at the back. So you can bring them all the way back, you can bring them forward, tip that toe forward. You can also lean them in pretty well, and of course you can swivel them out to the side if you want. So pretty good posability, but those 45-degree ratchets on the upper body are a bit of a bummer. But other than that, pretty dope. Now let me get some size comparisons for you real quick. Alright, for a quick size comparison, here we have him next to our little blast-off buddy here. As you can see, he is probably actually about small leader size, so pretty big. Here he is next to one of the larger figures in the line from the same season with Blast Train, so he goes right up to about his waist. And here he is next to one of the earlier figures I reviewed on the channel with Tachi, and as you can see, he is slightly taller than her, but she's definitely a little more dense. And in the show, she's faster than him actually, but he's got hacks. That's kind of the whole thing with their characters. She actually plays a major role in the story. I think he's more of one of the side characters, but still, an amazing figure nonetheless. Now, for the accessory, let's bring in his metal card here, and his is very interesting. So instead of being like an armor up or a special weapon or anything, these are, you can kind of tell what they are, just rollerblades. So you'll just open them up, flip up the back, pop out the front wheel, same thing on the other side, flip that out, pop up the front wheel, and then on both of these, there is a, hold on, maybe didn't get that wheel all the way. There we go. There is one of these C-clamp things. You pull it out, and this is going to go up inside of his foot and tab into the bottom. Same thing on the other side. And how you attach these is super simple. There is a bar, a blue bar in there, and that's just going to peg right into that bar. And it is going to make him a very leggy boy. And yeah, now he is super tall. He is super tall, but these wheels do roll. So if you wanted to, you could probably get him in some pretty weird poses where you just spin him around. But yeah, he gets these nice cool rollerblades. They give him a nice speed boost in the show. But yeah, not too much else to say about this figure other than he is just super fun to mess with. Super cool. And I thoroughly enjoy him quite a bit. I've had a lot of fun just transforming him back and forth, and it has been a blast. So, if you want to pick up this figure for yourself, as I've stated, there are various eBay sellers that do sell these. However, the one I've been getting these from, if you live in the States, is of course Korea Hub USA. He gives out pretty good deals, and he's one of the most helpful sellers I've ever encountered. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this review, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon to know when I upload new stuff, and check out my main gaming channel as well, where I stream on both YouTube and Kick. We are currently doing the No Man's Sky Swarm Expedition and finishing up Resident Evil 9. We recently finished Pragmata, but yeah, it's been pretty fun. But you guys, without further ado, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Dovalt out. Bye-bye!